Looks like the shithole scum is back out on the street corners looking for attention. And it's only 7:30 a.m. What the hell's going on down there all of a sudden? Never a dull moment. Yeah, and the other piece of shit is sitting in the bathroom of 78 smoking up a storm. I can barely talk. In spite of the screaming shithole scum out on the street corners, sponsored by the king of shithole scum, Oleg Alexeyev, the Russian criminal slumlord scumbag who employs large numbers of career criminals and sex offenders to go after people he personally feels insulted by. Typical sociopath. Mr. Alexeyev himself is a sociopath, and he employs a lot of sociopaths. And that's why there's a lot of shithole scum constantly screaming and shouting out on the sidewalks directly below these windows, because that is who Oleg Alexeyev is sponsoring. Funny that every time I say anything bad about him in videos when I'm talking to my phone with nobody else around, his career criminal fixer, the sex offender and psychopath Jasmine Irizarry, gets all agitated and violent whenever I say anything bad about Oleg Alexeyev. That's weird. Are they connected somehow? Is Jasmine Irizarry more than just a tenant to the criminal Russian slumlord Oleg Alexeyev? Is Mr. Alexeyev deliberately housing large numbers of sex offenders by working with agencies who focus on housing sex offenders because Mr. Alexeyev himself is some kind of a sex offender? And his friend Robert McLean, the mailroom reject guy, also a sex offender? Could it be that Mr. Alexeyev is housing large numbers of people in this building complex just like himself and his close personal friend, the sex offender Robert McLean? I actually had to take Robert McLean to court and get a restraining order against him. He works for the Greenville Group, but that didn't stop Robert McLean from sexually harassing me whenever I was in the office and loudly making verbally insulting comments about how I was a hooker. I'm not a hooker. I never even considered that career option, having been very intensely absorbed in my career as a scientific researcher at Harvard Medical School for 14 years and then another 4 years in the biotechnology and pharmaceutical industry, working for companies like Biogen IDEC and Merrimack Pharmaceuticals. But to psycho rejects like Robert McLean and the criminal Russian slumlord Oleg Alexeyev, who I suspect is some kind of sex offender, then if you're a scientist and you're a female and you happen to have big boobs, then that must mean that you're a hooker. And they reserve the right as criminal slumlords to smear you to the sex offender psycho pigs that they cram in large numbers in this building complex. Anyway, every time I mention Mr. Alexeyev's name when talking to my phone in the privacy of this living space that I think is private, not sure. The door is closed. So Irizarry, Mr. Alexeyev's paid, sponsored criminal fixer, who he himself has bragged about as being such a talented hacker, she can get into anything and she can take care of any problem. Then why does Irizarry become violent every time I say anything bad about Oleg Alexeyev? She's been slamming and banging things against the walls and the floor of this unit over the last couple of hours while I've been making videos on my phone to myself mentioning Mr. Aleseyev as a possible root cause of these surveillance devices that are continuously reminding me that the sex offender psycho pig BLM rejects in this building can somehow react in real time on a moment by moment basis to things that I say and do in the privacy of this living space that no one should ever have any knowledge of, let alone have enough knowledge about to react to on a moment by moment, activity specific, location restricted basis. Oleg Aleseyev is a criminal Russian sex offender scumbag. And Irizarry reminds me of this every time I say that to my phone in the privacy of this living space, because as Mr. Aleseyev put it, she can hack into anything. She can take care of any problem. And she's Greenville's surveillance expert. I rest my case. It's straight from the scumbag's mouth. Aleseyev, the criminal Russian sex offender slumlord. I'm not saying he's a registered sex offender. Let's clarify that. I haven't seen his name listed in the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry. But any landlord who admits to using surveillance devices in your bathroom is a sex offender and is allowing sex offenders to aggressively view and consume images of you and sounds of you engaging in personal hygiene practices in the privacy of your bathroom. And that is a sex crime. Mr. Aleseyev, by using surveillance devices in my bathroom and bragging about it, is committing a sex crime. And he's so painfully stupid. Maybe he's just autistic like Jasmine Irizarry. Maybe they're both on the autism spectrum, and that's why they literally brag to my face about their criminal acts towards me, as if they are proud of these criminal acts. So not only are they obviously on the, oh my God, are you kidding me? Somebody just made a violent slamming noise right over here. I can't tell if it's coming from below or behind the base of my sink. So once again, Irizarry is admitting to everything that I say to my phone when I'm standing here in the privacy of my own living space with the door closed. I'm assuming nobody can really hear what I'm saying in spite of the window being open, because this window is on the 4th floor, top floor of a 4-story building, and I don't think anybody's hanging out outside my window and listening to what I say. If they can hear what I'm saying, it's because they've hacked into my phone. And as everybody knows these days, your phone can actually listen to your conversations, even if you're not actively having a conversation on your phone. There's all kinds of lawsuits right now against Apple for cell phones spying on people and recording their conversations without people knowing about it. So Irizarry just doxed her own involvement in Mr. Aleseyev's sex crimes and use of surveillance devices in my bathroom to traffic sounds and images of me showering or using the toilet, because she likes to make violent slamming and banging noises whenever I say anything bad about her, about Aleseyev, or about the BLM psycho pig pedophile sex offender scum in this building. She works for BLM. She also works for Oleg Aleseyev, who is a big BLM sponsor. I've been told that he's giving free rent to a number of the BLM, quote, activists in this building in exchange for them doing nothing more than harassing me day and night. These pieces of psycho shit don't work. They're too hideously ugly, behaviorally dysregulated, and mentally disturbed to have any kind of legitimate corporate employment, unlike myself. And so what they do is they just hate stalk people who Mr. Oleg Aleseyev tells them to. I have screenshots of half a dozen comments made on my YouTube videos by well-meaning strangers whose identities I have no idea of, but who told me Mr. Aleseyev is paying BLM activists to harass me so that I'll move out. Mr. Aleseyev has never won a court case against me, but he keeps trying and trying because he's stupid and he never wins. And that's how you know you're dealing with shithole scum, because shithole scum never wins. And Aleseyev has never won a court case against me, but he keeps trying anyway. That's too bad for him. Oh, and Irizarry, his paid pedophile, psycho trash, psychopath, quote, surveillance expert, just slammed again something against the bottom of my sink. That must be where she's hanging out this morning. As usual, it's not just this morning. It's this and every other morning for the last 11 years. What a sad piece of shit. Sponsored by Oleg Aleseyev, the criminal Russian slumlord.